Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. All right. So, yesterday we had quite a move, and here looking at the delta, you can see there was this huge, massive spread trade, and it looks like it was between the 5-year and the 10-year. You can see it here in the 5-year, and pretty massive. And it was a steepener if we go along with the market orders, at least it's a steepener. And you can see here in the FYT spread, we did steepen. I didn't see anything in the knob. But that could be a major short-term pivot. I mean, we could be in an uptrend for a while. Just based on that is kind of my reading. Also, I mean, Treasuries are just up overall. And as a result, E&E is much happier today. So we'll see what happens. Of course, could turn around at any second. And yes, we are going back to sim, so we're going to try the jigsaw simulator here in a second. Let me just, before I do that, let's grab the links. Here's that. Copy. Paste. So let's just try putting in an order right here. See if it can get filled. I'm going to change the screen here so that you guys can't, just in case anything sensitive comes up. I don't think it will, but I'm going to check like my options here. Market depth throttle, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if that would have filled. Let's just try clicking into. That doesn't work. Doesn't work. Pete, please fix. Okay, let's go back and look at their documentation and see if there's like something we missed. Ooh. Hey, there's some big discounts going on. $100 off. I think I would do that. I wish I had done the annual subscription when it was that. Advanced training, $249. For the next 3 people only though, so be fast. Webinar. There's a number of, including connectivity to sim accounts, trade statistics, and resend all trade stats to update your stats. Okay, let's try that. And let's just check out. how do I do it?
Hi all.
I know there's a way to get this to work, guys. Oh, let's pull up the right thing. Live dashboard. There. Oh. It's under tools, but it's not. I don't think it's in this this same place, is it? There we go. So let's go back into here. Oh. Maybe their simulator is not working. Because if I go to there where it's supposed to show up, it just gives me a 500 error. Okay. So we can fix this. We can do it this way. I have to disconnect this one. Make this one. Yeah, and I'm gonna have to reset all of them. Hold on a second. Almost there. F, and I have to change all of the windows to use the right. Okay. And now I should be able to. Yep. I really wish I had stopped trading my live account earlier. Back when I had that one tilt thing. Way back. Should have stopped. Or maybe I wish I should have waited because clearly something's still having trouble on oh, I got filled. Just doing my tests, so that's good. Lots of volume has gone in through here. These prices, kind of interesting. Come on. We get some news coming. Oh yeah. Well, it's Thursday, right? So we get the news coming out here in just a minute. Okay, unemployment claims was pretty good, 209 versus 230. Durable good orders month over month, 2.6 versus 1.6. That's really good. Wonder is the E-mini. Oh, did I close? I guess it did. Oh no, here it is. Hold on a second. There we go. We'll see the E-mini. I think that they're going to like this news. And what's the trade balance? Okay, trade balance was negative 68 versus 74. That's also good. Preliminary wholesale inventory is down slightly, 0.1. Well, hard to predict how it will go in treasuries. I think it's good though, so that might push us down a little bit. Let's see. So I'm gonna eat a little bit and we'll come back, and we'll also want to come back. So SVN was asking, I'm looking at shorting ZB. I'm going to say that I would not advise it. Not that I'm giving financial advice. So what should I rephrase? I would not be taking that trade because we've been in a strong uptrend the whole way, and it's just kind of been bubbling up. And I would like to see, personally, before I would be willing to take the trade like that, I would need to see a much stronger signal than what we've seen. Because there's a pretty good probability that it can just keep going, you know? Jeremy Maxfield, I'm new here. Well, welcome. How did you find our channel? That back. Oh, off recommended channels. Very good then. Well, so Jeremy, do you trade at all, or interested in trading? Where you at? Let's see where you're at, and maybe we can provide you with some information to maybe get you to where you want to go but don't know yet. On a different channel. Okay, that's good. I'm glad that Google still recommends us. IQ was able to pull a little bit out on ZB. That's pretty good. So we're like on the edge of the profile, so there maybe we might just go back into it. I don't know. Not seeing enough. Part of my problem is you got this thing right here kind of like messes up anything that we might have been seeing in the cumulative delta here. Let's refresh this. Let's fix that. My cumulative delta for ZN is actually not I'm not convinced either way yet. Okay, so Jeremy's trading cryptocurrencies. So let's talk about the cryptocurrencies while we're uh, well, this, yesterday we were talking about how I'm too distracted. So let's hold on a little bit. We are at an important point here, and I want to watch this. But Jeremy, if you're new to the channel, I actually do a little bit of charting here in cryptocurrencies. Okay, so that was a good downtick, but not a huge offer put on it. Okay, and fighting back and forth at 09.5. Yeah, ZF went down, but then ticked back up. And by the way, where do you live? Because my understanding was that in the US you can't trade on BitMEX. They won't accept you anymore, right? So I assume that means that you're in Europe. I hope you're short. Okay, well, we didn't get a new value on my indicator today, but my indicator is reading 150, which is a strong sell signal. Oh, Australia, very good. Yes, the Aussies love trading down there. I've met some good traders from Australia. So let me show you my chart here, Jeremy. I think you'll be impressed. So basically what I do is I look at the number of transactions in Bitcoin. You still see that? Yeah, okay. I look at the transactions that are happening on chain, and I compare that to, a couple of other things to filter out noise and a little bit of other stuff, and I basically get this price value ratio. And you can see that whenever we get up to like this 100 to 150 range, we appear to be in bubble and we get crashes. And that's what happened yesterday, essentially, was we had a crash. So my prediction is that we should go back to the other side of the range, which would put us at about 4,000. So if you're on BitMEX, if I was on BitMEX, I would have loved to have gone short on Monday. Was it Monday or was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday, right? I really wanted to go short. I sold everything. I sold all of my cryptocurrencies. Okay, well, we have an interest area at 08.5. Yeah, I do think that we could be going back. This 040 area right here where I have that 10K, this is like where the 10-year yield hits 3% and everybody freaks out. I think we might be heading back to that. Yeah, but you can use a VPN if you're in the US and they don't check your country after you log in. How much leverage would you have used? Oh, that's a really good question. Because let's just see if we can get a fill here. We want to be cautious. Because I haven't looked, because it wasn't an option to me. I didn't look at it seriously, but like I moved everything to cash and I had about $500, and that I've gained almost entirely from the cryptocurrency market itself. So I've never put any of my own paycheck into it. And what I have, so it depends on what the leverage is. Is margin trading up to 3 times? So maybe I would have said, well, maybe it wouldn't have done any margin. I don't know. But just do 1x and we get down to 4K, and I basically, you know, that would be 50% maybe. 50-60% winner, so it could maybe make $200 or $300 on it. Maybe, I don't know. Margin trading when you get into Bitcoin, it kind of sounds a little too dangerous to me personally, but would much prefer options. Like, I think that for the risk that you're putting on, that puts make a lot more sense in this instance. I'll be really excited if the CME ever puts up options for their Bitcoin futures. I'm going to mute this a little bit. I don't think that we're going to get a trade until below the VWAP, so I think I missed it. If I had gone, where were we sitting at, like 09 half? So if I had gotten 09 half, we would be getting like 07 half, maybe 070. I guess I can do this. Oh, come on. Let's see. Anyways, I have some food here, so I'm gonna eat a little bit, so I don't have to worry about that. Well, that was interesting. It goes against his 2 ticks just like that. Boom, boom. Draghi notes ease in bank lending conditions and higher demand for loans. So if a Draghi is saying things, maybe it's best to be out at the moment. Okay. Well, it did come back. Hmm. Some iceberging there, don't I have? Yeah. And that, my friends, is why we don't sell above the VWAP. Hmm. It kind of sounds like Draghi is saying some dovish things. Oh no, Donald Trump is going to be on. No, this would have already happened. He was on the news this morning. Seeing the euro is going quite back and forth quite a bit as Draghi is talking here. Okay, that could be a long signal for us right there. Nobody hit into it. He pulled it. Good morning, Dave. Definitely. I could honestly just even hit into 11.5 in this situation, frankly. The way that they did it, I don't think I'm gonna get filled here. Too slow. Okay. Well, how far can we go in the end? We can go to 120. 120 is a significant number, and then 14.5. We'll just take the 4. What was that on the floor there? Hmm. Okay, so there was a pretty big iceberg trying to hold it down there, and they busted through it. But they're not.
Walk by.
Okay, there it is. I thought so. Okay, well, with a block buy there, um, I suppose it would not be unusual to see the market have trouble moving away from this area. The ticks up are pretty good, but they're not holding. Mm-mm-mm. A much stronger uptick that time. And it's still pulled and didn't hold. Well, actually, they're hitting it that time and it's not falling back. Looks like ZF is having a hard time here. The trade still looks favorable to us, though. You know what really sucks is that this is trending kind of action what I'm seeing right now. This is exactly my kind of market. I don't know if we're gonna get a ton, if we can get a ton out of it. Like it looks like with the volume that we're getting right now, that I'll be lucky if I get my 13.5. But I really wish I still had my account. Okay, 34.37 there absorbed. Hmm. Yeah, 13.5 is not good right there. Well, if they don't clear this effectively here, I may have to get out. Because they should have no problem clearing this and putting it back up. Go, come on. That's not. They've hit this 13.5 in ZF and it's held, but they're only putting 400 up, and here you have 800. And by the time this trades through, we're probably going to be close to 4,000 contracts traded at 115 on an iceberg. On a tick that should be pretty even and should be easy to clear. And that had an iceberg buy at 12. And now my 11 looks weak. And it didn't necessarily see like a reversal signal up in here either, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Well, now they're having trouble clearing 10.5, so that's good. Okay, something just happened there. Might just be reacting to the flip in ZB, which they attacked and it didn't go through. Okay, another strong takedown, so we have to bail. I think that yesterday, which was a bad day for me, that afterwards I was feeling pretty tired and overall wasn't trading very well, and I'm thinking that I must still be in that place today because this is just not going very well. I should have gotten out of this a long time ago. Hmm. Well, if it ticked back up and filled that, it would be reversing on us, so oh, what do you know? I might actually salvage this one, and if I do, that's probably a bad thing because I don't think that was a good trade. Well, I take that back. I mean, we did get the block buy there. That's always, well, not always, but it's usually a pretty good thing in your favor in trending action. And for them to come back 4 ticks against it is a little unusual. But it was a bad trade because I should have gotten out of it a long time ago.
Block sell.
Look at that. Looks like somebody's still talking, that's why. Mm-hmm. So that one, the interesting thing about that, I've seen those before anyways. The interesting thing about that one was that we really were getting like a reversal and it was coming back, and so it was like, why give up? And then boosh, huge sell. Oh, let's bring this back down here. Well, that down pivot did not make it as low. This could do anything. I wonder, maybe. Oh, I do have the Europeans up there, so why am I not seeing? Hmm. How long has that big five been there? I think it just showed up. It's about a 9-second delay on the stream today. That's quite a bit. It's usually only like 5 seconds. Well, I can't say that I can't blame today's results on the range, can I? I'm not so sure if there was anything in there that could have told me to make the right trades there, though. At least I certainly didn't see it. We'll have to watch it on replay. It kind of seems to me that it's moving off of the ECB, so you could just say that that whole move up and down was random. It's a little odd for the Treasury market to be reacting this strongly to the ECB. Like the ECB was never something that was like on my radar. And now here at 9.5, it's doing the zipper thing. Okay, back into the range. I feel really sleepy now. Hmm. No. $142.04 is John's like decision point, so that's interesting. That was where we broke out at, I'm guessing, yeah. Do not look too. You get a pass for being tired. Well, um, so I'm gonna type a few things in there. So Neff says that I don't look good. So what? If you just look at me, what? I mean, is it just like when I'm going like this and I look tired and I look like really like discouraged, or is there something else to it? Totally, because it's totally. I don't feel great today. I mean, I really don't feel great. And I went, I still got 7 hours of sleep, and I slept really well too. Well, let's see. I have an app. I have a nice bed. So I'll show you. I have to. It doesn't want to read my face. Okay. So I have a sleep number bed. So like, I'll just show you here. So here's my sleep number bed. So this was like what, last Thursday? When did we have a good day? I don't know, it's been a while. But so like this score, it says 70. That's I think part of it is because I say that I need 8 hours, but probably I get like 7 hours and 30 minutes most days, and I'm usually that's good for me. So like there's 70. Okay, Monday it said 55. Tuesday, that was my tilt day, it said 30. And then last night it said 60. So it seems like my sleep last night was okay, but I do feel tired at the moment. And for me to feel tired at this point in the session, at this point in the morning, is unusual. So I don't think it's just the sleep. I think, one thing is that I ran out of my multivitamin. I know this probably sounds like really dumb, but I ran out of my multivitamin, and that was like a week or two ago, and I just hadn't bothered to order a new one. And like I felt okay. I was still doing good, and so I was like, well, maybe that's not a problem. And then yesterday happened, and I think that maybe that plays a little bit into it, you know? Yeah, so I think what could be happening is I ran out of multivitamin, and it just took a long time for my body to, you know, run out. Let's fix your stream overlay. Oh yeah, sorry. Bum, 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 bum. See, now I see that 67 at 09. Tucker's sick. I'm really tempted to hit into to buy that '09. Mm, so I was trying to type it, but I don't know like the right words to say. I'm trying to type it because I know not everybody reads the stream, and I wanted to know what they're thinking in the Discord room. But like, I feel like, well, so Neff, that's his thing. I usually do take a little bit of Adderall in the morning, and so that's why to me it seems weird that I would feel sleepy. Anyways, like I don't know the words. I feel like I'm not trading myself. Like, yesterday was a bad day, granted, okay? Like, it just wasn't the most positive kind of action for my style of trading. And we've been like that for quite some time now. Okay, so, and I know that people will say, well, you're trying to take the blame off for yourself and things like that, but we just have to admit, and we know from a long experience that I just don't do well in certain types of markets and those range bound days, or the ones that I don't do well in. Okay. Today we had a pretty good move up and a pretty good move down. And I had taken like the exact wrong trades on both ways. So this is one that like I feel like I could have taken advantage of, maybe if I was lucky. This action is a little weird, so, but at the very least I could have just stayed out. Okay, so this is where it goes into, okay, that we can't just explain with the market, that there's something weird with me, right? So then I start thinking back, like, okay, what did I eat? Did I sleep? How should my, chemicals be, and like my brain chemistry and all of these things, are they all in good spots? And I feel like they're not. And so I wouldn't expect to be doing very well today. I'm not quite sure why that affects me so much, that it's like I would make the complete opposite decision. You know what I mean? And so I'm not sure if this really is part of the problem, or if I'm just tilted and now I'm just kind of going through and looking for every excuse to try and explain what's happening. You know what I mean? So that's why your comment is interesting to me. This is like, okay, so can you tell from looking at me that I'm not feeling great? And if so, what is it that you see? Because another thing is that I'm really bummed out that I can't trade my live account, right? So I might not look happy. So is it that I just don't look happy, or is it something else? What do you think? So you can be honest. I don't care. Hmm. Jeremy says that he refreshed the stream and it's still about 9 seconds. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, so what I do is I use restream.io to stream it to multiple sources. So if you're watching on YouTube and it's a little bit too much delayed for your liking, you can go to the Twitch channel too, which is just twitch.tv/speculatorseth. There's actually more people watching on Twitch today than there is YouTube, which is interesting. We usually have 8 to 12 on YouTube, but maybe a bunch of people were like, oh, he's doing terrible, we don't want to watch him anymore. Yeah, there. I think I was able to express it in words a little bit better now. Not being able to trade the live account, I'm really mad about it. Like, I can't even, like... Okay, so what's Dave say? I don't think you look rough or anything today, Seth, but I know where you're at from following from yesterday, so I wouldn't read into it much. Like Tucker said, it sucks to have a tilt day. Okay. So he doesn't think that it's too bad. Yeah. So there's two things about this. Okay, what does Tucker say? You don't look sick. You might feel sick because you're right back in the saddle after blowing up yesterday, but you don't look sick. Honestly, my advice is to turn off everything. Go for a run, see a movie, play with the kids. Yeah. Well, so okay, so I think there's a couple of things here, and this is why part of why when we get like this, because when, like yesterday in particular, when you're doing bad, and you're streaming to everybody, the you want to turn it off so bad. I mean, it's just doing bad is bad enough, but like doing it in front of a bunch of people, and everybody trying to help you, and please don't stop trying to help. I appreciate it, and I'm capable of saying, well, okay, this advice applies to me, this advice doesn't, and whatever. So never hold back on what you're saying, okay? And just put that out there too, okay? But it sucks. Like, I don't want to be getting the criticism at first. It kind of sucks, and just losing in front of people sucks, because it's like, oh look, like he went live and we made it like 2 months and crashed and burned, and in front of like a bunch of people. It's not fun. But I feel like for two reasons that I have to do it. One is that I mean, that's just the reality of it. And if anybody was coming back, let's just say that a year from now, or however long it takes for me to build up enough capital, I go live again, and by that point I've overcome my issues with range bound markets, and I'm just an amazing trader, and I do incredibly awesome, and all of a sudden I'm like swinging 100 lots and everybody watches, and I'm like the most famous trader ever, or something like that. Okay, like the best scenario that could possibly happen to me in the future. People are going to go back and they're going to watch these old videos, and they need to see that this happened, right? They need to see that I tilted and I had really, really awful times too, and that I didn't like blow the account, but I basically blew an account, right? I can't trade it anymore. And yeah, so on one hand, I feel like we have to show it is the one thing, but then Tucker is also saying, well, like, clearly you're not going to trade well, so you need to take a break and step away, right? So that's the other thing, is that to me, it's interesting to just see. It's like, okay, so if I'm tilted, then let's see how I actually behave when I'm tilted. Why is it that I make the trades that I do when I'm tilted? I think one of those, that first trade, I think I took because like maybe I'm tired or tilted. It seems like the discipline goes down, and so you click into a trade that you shouldn't necessarily take, right? And then that second one, I think I was holding on, like I didn't want to lose. So, we can read into that where we have the problems are. So that because the problem isn't just like that we tilt and stuff, but like the problem is that it's going to happen. Like, I've been doing this for a year, and I would say that roughly once a month or every other month, there's going to be a tilt day. Like, it's just going to happen. And that it could just be that those are the days where my strategy just doesn't work, but it totally happens, and we have to have experienced it enough times to be able to quickly see that that's what's happening and stop, right? And I'm not to that. So, I mean, yesterday I was kind of sitting there saying, well, this isn't so good. But yesterday I wish that I had taken that first trade and been like, well, that wasn't good, and just walked away, or not traded yesterday at all. But I didn't know that I was in that spot until it happened. And then it happened. And now I'm sitting here like, okay, well, why did that happen? Anyways, so that's why I'm not going to stop. We need to explore this. I'll see you. I'll talk to you later, Dave. Oh yeah, well, let's add Neff, by the way. I haven't seen you in here before. Let's make sure you have permission so that you can post images and stuff. You might be right though. I might just be still tilted. You know that big move up that we had right here? And notice that it actually didn't have that much delta in it until the very top and the very bottom. Isn't that interesting? And then now we went into this balance area and back down, and there actually was quite a bit more selling volume. Yeah. Okay, so there was a tick up, and it was a pretty strong tick, and it puts us at the top of this zipper location, and I'm seeing some stuff happening in the level 2, kind of like a pickup in level 2 activity. So so now that we know what, let's just assume that I'm on tilt. Let's take a little bit of an extra look here at things. So the ZB really looks like it's moving up. So I think I'm gonna put that in there for now, but let's analyze. The ZB is really moving up. ZN really hasn't gone, but they weren't able to touch the VWAP. ZF is in a spot where it could run. I mean, you kind of get those, if I come back over here, you don't want to be shorting it when ZF looks like that, right? You know, because it kind of, ZF will kind of swing too far. So I always look to see ZF, does it look like it's like really swinging far before I take a trade? Because ZF is often the one that stops it, even though the other instruments are ready to go. And the E-mini, I don't see any edge in the E-mini. It's just ranging. I love the Discord smileys that you can put. You can put an eggplant on their comments. Yep. Oh, yeah. I can see a couple of people moved over to the YouTube after saying, "Oh, yeah, it's Twitch. Twitch is usually faster." Oh, Jeremy says that the Twitch delay is actually longer. Really? I don't know. I don't know what to say. There is a way, like in the stream options. If I show you here, you can actually change it so that like there's like ultra low latency. I don't know why it wouldn't let. Oh, think I have to change those before you go live. Anyways, But my understanding is that it changes, like it says right here, does not support 1440p and 4K resolutions, and we're doing 1440. So, and I don't think that you would be able to see the numbers, and that's why I don't use the ultra low latency one. Although, honestly, I haven't actually tried it. Oh, look, we got filled. Okay, so now that we're in a trade, the problem has been that we're hanging on too long, right? I think that if we see a strong tick against us, like if they sold the 2000 that's sitting there and put up 1500, I think we'd have to get off. Oh, you don't get the 1440p? You might have to change the settings. It definitely shows you 1440p when you watch the video on replay. I don't know about what it gives you live. I just click over here. Oh, I guess the automatically it will. Yeah, okay, it is 720. So if I just play this for a second, automatically it will. Yeah. Oops. So like I'm watching it right now. Maybe if I make it full screen. Okay, so at 2040 you can see it. Okay, well tomorrow. How about tomorrow we'll try with the other one. Okay, so now I'm seeing 4K trade, and it traded through it. So I'm not necessarily surprised that there was some iceberging there. If it ticks down, I'm hoping to see that it's gonna fight. Oh yeah, you're right, we need to stay focused. Yeah, no, you guys are right. I'm very easily distracted, so we do need to stay focused here. We need to figure something out with that. But maybe I don't know. I don't know how we should do this. I think though that because I still want to do like the cryptocurrency stuff, because that brings people in and stuff, and that helps us. But probably don't want to be messing too much with it while we're live streaming, do we? So maybe I should just be making summary videos, you know? Like when Bitcoin really comes off here, then maybe I'll make a video that's like, look, I was right. That sort of a thing. What do you think? Yeah. No, it seems like when I'm talking about when I'm really focused, it's like I'm not really reading what you guys are saying. I'm not really looking at the YouTube, which, you know, I regret when I missed stuff, but I'm mostly talking about the action. So this is firmed up pretty, I mean, this is pretty good that it's 2K. And I would, okay, so there was a hit there, but it didn't, I don't think it pulled. If anything, we're seeing stacking on the bid is what we're seeing. And as we move up, it looks like the mini likes it. E-mini likes it. I would like to see ZF just go. That's a good point. Right now is kind of a spot, so we need to start recording this somehow, but I'm sitting here saying to myself right now, I could just take +1, but like nothing is actually happening, you know. It could tick up, and then I feel like, well, let's wait for the thing to happen before we make a decision. So the level 2 is flipping back and forth. Yeah, 1700 hit into 10.5, and it didn't lift. So I think though that that may just be because I don't know. I don't read too much into that, to be honest. If it gets to 3,000 and they're not able to push through it, then that's going to be a little different for me. I think that you know, 10 and 10.5 is kind of in the middle of the profile, and a lot of volume is traded there already. So maybe you would see a lot of volume there. I suppose that does mean that our probabilities of getting like up to 115 are excuse me, a lot less, doesn't it? The other thing though is that I'm not really seeing people hit into 10. And still a lot of games going on in the level 2. See, they're doing the flips and stuff like that. Now there's 24 on the stacked on there. There's a cool, you know, it was 2,000 last time, and now it's 2,500. This isn't pulling. Okay, so we did tick up, and they put a good bid on it. So really is the question, right? We'll see lots of signals. You know, like let's just say when it was there and it was 2,000, and this was 2,000, and then this was 2,400, and this was 1,700. It's basically a flip in the level 2. Like, that's a signal, right? Yeah. But then sometimes, well, most of the time actually, it'll just flip back over again, right? So we know that it's a signal and that it's something to watch, but it's not like the signal, you know? And same with the strong ticks. Like, a strong tick is good, but they could strong tick against us, and then it could strong tick back up again. So the real question that I don't think we've quite figured out is which things mean more, you know, and how much attention should we really pay to them and in certain market, you know? I feel like with this one, we are getting a pretty strong bubble up. So I think, first of all, what's happening here in the 5-year probably matters a little bit more. You know, like if we start seeing an iceberg at 13. Okay, so fighting at 12.5 is good. Okay, so now here's where it's like, should we take it off? They ticked down, they ticked back up, but they were still able to put a good bid on it. Okay, but ZF hasn't put a good bid on it. So that's maybe a potential, maybe I should just take +2. we really want to see people hitting into 13. Well, there's 3. What's the E-mini doing? Okay, ZB looks like it could be looking to run the high, so we need to watch that too. Yeah, ZB is lifting, but there's an iceberg there too. I think this is going to be one where it's either going to keep going or we're going to get a down tick and I'm going to have to take 10. Yeah. Okay, so that time 19 2K hit into it and then ZF as well. But ZB looks like it could still test the highs. Well, so hold on, we're at 16 in CB. That's not necessarily good. $110 was also kind of the, well, it was $115 was where I bought that one time, right? Yeah, 2K hit and it hasn't lifted yet. Well, so now that's the big, this is the big question, right? I feel like this has been pretty slow and that ZF is in a range, so I'm gonna take it this time. But we need to continue watching this afterwards. Okay, so now ZB is ticked up to the 16, and I can see, oh, okay, they hit me out. I can see that there's a 4 there, right? 4 and 2. So it's actually really uncertain. Ugh. Okay, so how are we going to track this? I think I need a new sheet. I'm just gonna make it like a completely new one. Blank. We'll just call it forward testing 2. Okay, so they traded through it. Okay, so what are we going to say? Let's say, what type of day is it? What direction is it? Oh wait, no. Day, local action, direction, signal, and did it go further or not? How should we? How can we just? What is there a technical term for like you got out and it went further? We're just gonna call it missed ticks. Yeah. So on the day we're gonna say it's watch. Yeah, we need to track this in here. So the local action was kind of rangy, and the direction was long, and the signal was iceberg, and Miss Ticks is at least 1 right now. I call this a double distribution for now. Yeah, it is going into 115. Okay, so now they ticked through it and they've absorbed a bunch. Well, I think I could have gotten filled at the 115, right? Oh, we need to track the stats. Okay, so now it's going again. 120 was where Tyler bought. I don't know if I want to mess with that price. Well, yeah, so the question is, should I have gotten out at 110? So we know that I could have gotten at least 1 more tick, and in fact, probably 2 more ticks. So we're gonna have to say that specific instance, I probably could have gotten more and I shouldn't have gotten out. But that doesn't mean that it's not actionable, you know. So we had seen about 4,000, and then we went through it. Yo, you don't know. Well, so back up. Well, so Tucker, if you were trading and you saw 4,000 trade at 110 in that situation and it hadn't gone through yet, would you have gotten out, or would you have waited for it to tick through and seen what happens if it ticks through? Because I tend to let it tick through and see what happens when it ticks through. Where did we get long at? It was right here, right? 1, 2, 3. I think that this one. But it could be at least 4. Okay. So would it be accurate to say then that for you, it's not just a matter of if we see an iceberg, but also how many orders we're seeing hitting the other way? And that if we had gotten to the 3K and we had seen more like 1,000 or 2,000 traded at 10.5, then maybe would you have gotten out? Like, what would have been the thing to have gotten you out? Now it's almost 5K at 11. It's actually iceberging on all 3. Curious. Big time yes. If like 3K absorbed, 700 hit down, and it suddenly ticked down, I'm bailing. If 3K hit up, not even 200 come back, I'm waiting. If they start hitting lower, I'm gone. If they take it higher, I'll do the exact same mental process the next time. So I'm going to track it like this. If we're going to say we wait for it to tick through. So right here with this oh wow, 5 now. We're only going to track it on exits, but let's just say that we had been short. We came into that. The one scenario is where we've seen enough volume coming into this iceberg and enough people trading it the other way to say that we want to take it. And the other one is we're going to let it tick through and see how it reacts if it ticks through. And if it ticks back the other way, then we have to bail. Yeah, actually, I... well, because there's icebergs in all 3 of them at this level. So... Something's happening here. I also, you were saying that bonds backed off their highs. The thing that I see is that we came up and they haven't made another push yet. So it's not like it's a failure to hit the highs yet. Okay, so this will be a really good test of it right here, won't it? So we've had 1,700, and there was a little bit of iceberging there, and there's a little bit of iceberging there. Okay, they cleared it in ZF. Cleared it in ZN. We put up 1,000. Yeah, no, I get you, Tucker. I'm just trying to get other people's ideas of when they're deciding to get out. So on this one that I don't like that we're weak there. And ZB has not come along. If it's able to go, then maybe we might have a chance at the highs. Okay, so they traded back through at 14, but they didn't put a good offer on it. So, oh, and this 115 has been a balance area in the past. Okay, now it flipped. Now they're playing games with us. Okay, pretty good uptick there in ZF. Like it battled around there, but then they ticked up, oh, and then they ticked it back down. Okay, so somebody's definitely fighting us here in ZF. And people are bailing. And ZB is lower, so I think we have to take a break even. So I guess the point here is to try and be a little bit more cautious, right? Well, not more cautious, but we're trying to play these ranges. So at this point, though, if we had taken the 09.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, we took it off here. Now, if we had let it tick through, maybe now we should be taking it off, or have an order at 115 that maybe would have gotten filled. I don't know. Yeah, it checks us, but you were leaning on the sides at 110 and also getting out there. Well, so yeah, I mean, I got out there because I saw the iceberg, basically. So like the whole question is, when you see an iceberg, what are the conditions that we should use to say that it's an exit signal or not? So what Tucker is saying is that the iceberg, that first of all, how much we had seen it at probably wasn't enough, but then that there wasn't orders going the other way is also important, right? But there's also this situation that we're in right now, basically, where you get an iceberg, it ticks through, but then it's not able to find much support after that. So we'll see how it turns out, but I don't know if yeah. I guess another thing that we have to consider is that we bought into that at 7:51, so it's now been almost 30 minutes. I think for sure at that point we would need to get out, right? There we go. I suppose you could look at it the other way also, though. If you were short 110, or sorry, 11, if you were short 11 and looking for the market to break back down, you'd be worried about the state of your underwear right now. Well, yeah, for sure. That's why it's like, I know that when we get an iceberg, like the one that we saw at 11, the probability that we continue or reverse there is like literally 50-50. Like I've tested it with just to say for one tick, if it takes more than 5,000 contracts to lift, what is the probability that it reverses or goes through there? And did a historical backtest for like going back like 2 years, I think it was, and it was 50-50. So now the question is, what are some things about the context that we could maybe use? Things that I can't necessarily program to say, hey, this actually says that there's a probability of it going through or not. That one where I went long and I scratched it, I probably, I also think that I should have tried to get the +1 on it. You know, when it wasn't immediately like really ticking back off of the iceberg, then maybe that's a signal that we should just try and take the +1. Well, that was an okay uptick. I think they're going to need more than that to break the high, though. Okay, well, it's 8:30, so I'm going to post my charts. By the way, where are we at in Bitcoin at the moment? We're still at 88. Okay, so yeah, so tomorrow I will try the ultra low latency stream, and I will. What else will I do? And I know we're gonna keep taking track of that trade, and oh yeah, we need to come up with some way to still cover the Bitcoin stuff, because I know that's what a lot of people that watch are interested in, without getting distracted from watching the order flow. So, and I think I want to continue to leave a little bit earlier, since it doesn't really matter if we get that last little bit. Okay, posted that. I feel like I'm missing something, guys. Maybe I just feel like that because, you know, I usually go a little bit later than this. E-minis, it looks okay. Looks okay, I guess. Okay. Well, yeah, that's going to be it. So I will see you guys for Friday.